Hello and welcome to Cyrus Bales Dispatches. This week I have to talk about free trade because over a year after the referendum people still understand it even less than Donald Trump understands the English language. We have to start with the World Trade Organization, a topic even drier than a teenager being chatted up by Bill Cosby. At present, we are a member of the World Trade Organization because we are a member of the EU. On top of this, we are also part of the single market and have trade deals that give us preferential access to the markets of 50 non-EU countries because of our EU membership. By leaving the EU, the general assumption is that we can just fall back into being a WTO member under the same rules that we have now, basically just losing those deals with 50 countries and the single market. Of course, if we decide to dodge our financial obligations to the EU in terms of paying for things we've already signed off on, we could find our attempts to be solo members of the WTO unsuccessful. This could pretty much halt our ability to trade with anywhere at all, making us an untouchable, like the Rolf Harris of international trade. But let's assume we retain our WTO membership. What is it and what does it let us do? The WTO is made up of 164 countries and administers trade agreements and facilitates fair trading between members, setting rules and responsibilities. This means that we currently have the ability to trade across the entire planet to all of these countries in the WTO. Because of this, leaving the EU does not mean we get to trade with any more countries. Anyone telling you this is feeding you more shit than the last guy in the human centipede chain is eating. So we will not increase the number of countries to trade to in any way. We won't really be increasing our sales by tapping into new markets either, because we are already tapped into them. They aren't suddenly going to increase their demands for products like jam or whatever that they can already access. But if we already trade due to WTO rules, what then are these trade deals? A trade deal establishes smoother trade and opens up access to more investment in industries between trade partners. Usually this is by reducing barriers to transporting goods or having shared regulations to protect businesses and products. They are mostly positive things. However, deals like the infamous TTIP have clauses that allow US businesses to sue governments if their profits are harmed. This could be by the government banning smoking or even providing a public health service that could damage their private healthcare profits. This happens through things called investor-state dispute settlement clauses that essentially surrender government power and sovereignty to corporations. Whilst terrifyingly the UK supported TTIP, thankfully the EU said, much like a Yorkshire woman rejecting a man's sexual advances, no to tip. By leaving the EU, the UK can make its own trade deals, although it doesn't have the expertise or the resources to do so on any meaningful scale whatsoever at present. But in order to be in this position, it has to give up the 50 countries it has deals with, as well as the EU single market. Because the EU was the biggest player in the world, trade-wise, it got to choose the terms of deals. However, you know what is smaller and less powerful than the EU? The UK, or as Trump likes to think of it, just another pussy to grab. On average, the EU has secured trade deals relatively efficiently, more so than most, including America. On average, the USA takes 45 months to make a trade deal. So if we are able to secure deals at this rate, we would be lucky to have 10 trade deals by 2050. We don't have the resources remotely similar to America, so this estimate is overly generous. So not only will these deals be worse than the ones we currently have, but we will have less of them, and the danger of potential investor-state dispute settlement clauses is another risk. This is the harsh reality of how global free trade actually works and where we are headed. It's like the political trade equivalent of leaving the Cannes Film Festival to instead watch The Wild Wild West on loop. So therein lies the problem. Our trade position is guaranteed to be worse. We won't get to trade with more places, we won't get to set terms as preferential as we currently have, and could even have negative deals. More expensive trade, more business costs, more government costs for border and product checks, higher prices for UK consumers. It's the definition of a lose-lose-lose situation. Sure, people could have other reasons for voting leave, but focusing on just the economics of trade, there is no upside to leaving the EU. It is about as self-destructive as starting a Jimmy Savile fan club with Gary Glitter as your public relations spokesperson. That's it from me this week. Thanks for watching, please share, goodbye.